Turning to this story, a federal judge in the Lone Star State is considering a bid by pro-life groups for a nationwide ban on the distribution of the abortion pill mifepristone. Now, the ban would include states where abortion is legal, as regulatory approval granted more than 2 decades ago is now being challenged. Mifepristone, when combined with a second pill, was approved in 2000 and is used to end pregnancies up until the 10th week. It's been increasingly prescribed since last summer's U.S. Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, and it's reportedly the country's most common method for ending pregnancies. Julie Blake is the senior counsel of Alliance Defending Freedom, and she joins us now. Julie, welcome. Thanks for taking the time on National Report. Again, this development out of Texas was one many folks across the nation, both pro-life and pro-choice, had been tuning into. Tell us about your argument in this lawsuit.
Well, the FDA has a responsibility to protect the health, the safety, and welfare of all Americans, but it has failed that responsibility when it comes to chemical abortion drugs. These drugs are dangerous, and they should never have been approved in the first place, let alone with weak safeguards. So we're asking the court to order the FDA to put politics aside, follow the science, and protect women and girls.
I want to offer the response to that argument there, to be fair, and to give context to our viewers. The Justice Department strongly disputing those claims, essentially arguing the FDA used its congressionally authorized power to approve the drug it determined to be safe and effective. We'll go on to read the statement here. They argue essentially that pulling this drug would be an injunction here, would interfere with the interest of every state in the country. Again, off the top, I mentioned that this could impact those states where abortion is legal. So your response to the Justice Department's counter-argument here?
Chemical abortion drugs are dangerous. 1 in 5 women who take chemical abortion drugs will seek medical attention for things like severe bleeding, life-threatening infections, and our doctors, the doctors we represent in the lawsuit, are the emergency room doctors who see these patients every day and who care for them when the government has allowed this mail-order abortion economy with no one there to help women and no one ever studying whether these drugs were safe under their labeled conditions of use.
Again, one of those arguments is that the FDA in this case misused the authority when it originally approved the drug. Could you expand on those concerns, especially when you think of the FDA getting involved? Do you have proof to support that claim?
Well, the FDA could only approve these drugs by claiming that pregnancy was an illness, but pregnancy is a normal part of life. Congress also required the FDA to have studies before it approved these drugs and before it allowed them to be sent in the mail with no safeguards for women. And the FDA simply never had any studies showing the labeled conditions of use. So it had no authority and it had no science. And so it's time to start protecting women and girls from these drugs.
Again, that's the argument that would be challenging the distribution of this abortion drug. Julie, we can close on this. Again, the judge in Texas heard arguments for the first time. It was last week. When do you anticipate we have an update in this case?
We've asked the judge to rule as soon as possible to start protecting women and girls.
All right. We'll keep an eye on it. Of course, follow it closely. Julie Blake, thanks for coming on today and sharing your side of the argument.